The Director General, National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Shuaibu Ibrahim, heartily welcomes the 2020 Batch B Stream 2 Corps members to the NYSC orientation camps. It is imperative to note that all prospective Corps members, camp officials, and visitors to the camp must subject themselves to COVID-19 test. It is only those who tested negative to the virus that shall be allowed into the camps. The NYSC orientation camp is a regimented environment anchored on discipline. Accordingly, all COVID-19 safety protocols already put in place by the Corps under the guidance of Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) are strictly being enforced in the camps. Therefore, management expects full compliance with the rules and regulations as well as the aforementioned safety protocols guiding the operations of the NYSC orientation camps by the camp community. The Director General welcomes Corps members aboard the ship of nation building and wishes them a successful service year. In the face of unprecedented challenges presented by the COVID-19 pandemic, Nigeria has had to grapple with the new realities. As the COVID-19 pandemic continues and its implication becomes clearer, the National Youth Service Corps constantly updates its strategies in support of the government's efforts to reduce the spread of the coronavirus and cushion the effect on all, especially on vulnerable groups.
We recall by March last year, we had, when the NYSC orientation was opened, in the course of the orientation, precisely on the 8th of March, we had to shut down the camps nationwide in order to avert the effect of the COVID-19 on our Corps members. And this singular action has attracted commendation from the PTF and other Nigerians. And are now directed, with the management directed the states secretariats nationwide, that the Corps members with the lockdown cannot just sit at home doing nothing. So they were tasked that of having been trained in camp to produce sanitizers, they can produce face masks, they can produce disinfectant soap. So you can see the face mask I'm wearing was produced by Corps members. And this, the Corps members, hugging to the call of the management, and produce all these materials, which they donated freely to states, to Nigerians in the marketplaces, places of worship, and so on and so forth. And this, the Corps members were commended. Apart from the production of these face masks, we also tasked the Corps members to go to marketplaces in addition to giving these face masks and materials to sensitize Nigerians on the safety protocols of COVID-19. The Corps members were so grateful to Mr. President for having increased the allowance from 19,800 to 33,000 naira. The Corps members raised funds amongst themselves and received contribution for good Nigerians to buy food items and other materials, which they went to nook and crannies of this country and donated to indigenous Nigerians free of charge. And there are other agencies like the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian and Disaster Management also use our Corps members to distribute palliatives to indigenous Nigerians, and these Corps members were given letters of commendation by the Honorable Minister. The effort of the Corps members is really quite commendable. They invented a lot of innovation. This is a thermostat temperature measuring machine. A Corps member invented one in Nasarawa State. They also produced several disinfectant chambers. This they donated to secretariats, offices, and so on. And the Corps members have really been commended on this effort.
So here's a comprehensive video on how the chamber works. When someone walks in, the sensor senses the person, which triggers the pump, which sprays the disinfectant on the person. And as you can see, the traffic light goes from green to red, which indicates that there's someone inside, telling the people outside to wait for the person inside to come out.
This is an automated temperature scanner that measures brand T-Smart. It measures the body temperature parameters and then triggers a response. It triggers an alarm when the temperature rises above a threshold, which is 37 degrees Celsius, according to NCDC. You know, one of the indicators of a person being a suspected carrier of coronavirus is high fever, which is denoted by high body temperature.
As commoners, they are on national service. And once a commoner receives a clarion call, it is expected that their potentials must be brought to bear in the service of their country. And our commoners are very patriotic. And once organizations, agencies, companies, and so on, where they work, take advantage of the potential of this commoners, I can assure these commoners will do more. They are ever ready to render their service to our country. And that's why they know why they are here to serve. They know they are here to serve their country, and they are patriotic, and they are ready to do so. And you know, commoners have contributed so much to our national development in the area of election, population census, community development service, commoners building houses to widows, you know, bridges, and so on. Their contributions are immeasurable. In the area of education, our health sector, you know, without commoners, our educational sector will be in the difficult in their state. Say also with the health sector. You go to some rural areas, you see the doctors there mostly are core members, because in all the nook and crannies of this country, core members are there to render the service. And that's why I remember sometimes ago when the core members in the order paid a courtesy call to Mr. President. Mr. President have cause to say that the NYSC, the military and other agencies represent agencies that promote our national unity and integration.
Under the leadership of the Director General, Brigadier General Shuaibu Ibrahim, the scheme is actively contributing to mitigate the spread of the virus and alleviate the sufferings of indigent communities.
The effort of the core members have been commended. You remember we donated over 10,000 face masks produced by core members of the FCT to the Federal Ministry of Youth in preparation for the forthcoming sports festival. The core members NYSC have also been co-opted on the Mambila Power Project. Of course, you also remember recently Mr. President directed the NYSC to be deeply involved in SDG. And all this, the core members are ready to put in their best as the drivers of all government programs. Core members recently also built a toilet for an Almajiri school in Dakwahe in Abuja. I remember during this COVID-19, core members also developed an app, an online lesson for indigent students, for final students in SS3 and SS3. And these lectures teachings went around the whole country, and it was free. My children also participated in the lesson, and they did very well in their WAEC and junior secondary school exams. We cannot thank those core members enough.
The scheme, through its core members, have donated face masks, hand sanitizers, foot-operated hand-washing devices, among others. They have also conducted mass sensitization exercises and distributed palliatives in rural communities.
We found out that the majority of these villages don't really have the ability or the resources to afford hand sanitizer. So we took it upon ourselves, I and my colleagues, to distribute free hand sanitizers and to do a sensitization on the pandemic COVID-19.
Coronavirus is also called COVID-19.
When the COVID-19 pandemic started, I thought of what to do. I went to villages, I went to communities, I visited schools and markets before the lockdown. I had to sensitize them on coronavirus, its effects, and how we can curb the virus. But eventually the lockdown came and we had to find how we can live with the virus. You agree with me that the coronavirus rises by the day. The cases, we hear different cases by the day, and deaths, the fatality rate is increasing. So we should learn to live by it. So this has brought out an idea in me, an idea that I thought of because I feel hand washing is the cheapest way to curb the spread. When we wash our hands, it's okay for me to go to a community to tell them that, oh, you need sanitizers, you need this one, you need that one. But what is the cheapest thing the community can achieve? They have water and they have soap, which is very easy to get. So I thought of teaching them on sensitizing them on the need to wash their hands properly. But when I still sat down again, it still dawned on me that, okay, I could be teaching people and sensitizing them on how to wash their hands, but they share common taps. They use the same hands to touch the same tap, in which somebody that has a virus can come, open the tap, close it back, and the other person doesn't know, still uses the same tap, and thereby contracting the coronavirus. So I felt that, what can I do? I thought of an indigenous foot-operated hand washing apparatus that is controlled with the feet. If I come to the machine, I will pedal with my foot to dispense soap, I will pedal with my feet to dispense water, and then I have a clean hands, I wash my hands.
Director General, in his nature to be blessing to people, he encouraged all state coordinators to ensure that we support the states in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic. He also encouraged states secretariat to produce palliatives to support the state governments, and we did in Delta State. Core members that are well trained in skill acquisition, that's SAED, they came out en masse. We lodged at the camp, at the orientation camp at that period, and they were able to produce face masks, and then we did hand sanitizer for the state government. And not only the state government, we were able to donate to the local government council, a new channel, the chairman. That's the base of the NYSC orientation camp. And aside from that, we donated to the OB of Iseluku. We donated also to OB of Idumujeno. We donated hand sanitizers and face masks to the OB. And the core members went all out in the markets, in Iseluku market, to give sanitizers and face masks to the marketers and educate them on the pandemic and how they can avoid not contacting it.
The core members' involvement in the fight against COVID-19 is unprecedented. It is something extraordinary. If you go into the social media and see what core members are doing to assist the Nigerian society, it is beyond measure. Who would ever think that core members will go this extra mile to solicit for funds, to buy food to give to the society? And that is why we are talking about Nigeria being one nation. As you see them, they are from different states of the Federation. Some of them are from the north, some are from the east, but they identify with their host community.
We thought about the less privileged in our society, in the community that we are serving, and we decided to give them something in light of the pandemic that is going on. A lot of people don't have enough funds to buy goods, to buy food for their family and their loved ones. So we thought about doing something to help them in such a time of need.
What is going on here is same thing we are doing in all the local government areas in the state. And the reason is very simple. They have been playing host to core members, assisting them when the need arises. Now, core members, in appreciation of that, have realized that this is the time they need to emotionally identify with them too. And that is why most of them, they did not blink an eye in even donating their allowance to procure some of these things to make sure there is food on the table of the community.
We are doing this because we feel the need to help our direct environment. We know this pandemic has affected a lot of people. That is why we are giving back to the community as the government has helped us to.
God will continue to bless you in all your endeavors. We appreciate you. We really appreciate you. It goes a very long way. Thank you very much.
Their impact is unprecedented. And don't forget, it's not only palliatives that they are giving. They go as far as making face masks. You saw them distributing it around. They made hand sanitizers, antibacterial hand wash, and they're giving it to members of the society.
Let us lift our name.
to NYSC, safety first. Every other thing is secondary. I remembered when we shut our camps and the PTF that gave a directive that various agencies will put measures on their various operations. And NYSC went into action by setting up a committee to see how we intend to run our camps and so on and so forth. And the fallout of the committee report, and then we took it to the ministry. The minister also looked at it and then certified it. This we forwarded to the NCDC. And then the NCDC appointed a desk officer along with the NYSC and will be collaborating since then. They took a look at our preparation, make an amendment, and then to ensure that everything is in line. And all our camps were structured in line with the protocol, with the guidelines issued to us by the NCDC. A camp that can take about 3,500 members now take 800. Our beddings, you discover that where you have about 50 beds in a room, now takes about sometimes 10. And our double bunk, we don't make use of our double bunk anymore. A bunk is attached to a core member and ensure that beyond not more than 20 in a room. You discover that the protocols were duly adhered to, and the NCDC went around all the camps to verify our preparation. And to God be the glory. With the coming of the RDT test kits, the PTF obliged the NYSC the use of these tests, and it became like a test case for the PTF and the NCDC, because only when the camps were opened, only core members that were negative were allowed into the camp. And those that are positive were taken to the isolation center by the NCDC for treatment. And to God be the glory, so far so good. In our batch 1A and 1B, we never recorded any fatality among those who were positive, because within the range of 4-5 days, these core members, they recover. And on this note, we cannot thank the federal government enough. I use this opportunity all the time to tell my core members the concern for their welfare by the federal government, that these test kits are in millions and they are tested free. Now, not just the core members, including camp officials and our collaborative agencies. Those that are coming to camp are tested. And if you are negative, then you are allowed in. If you are not, you are taken for treatment. And nobody's allowing. So our camp is an enclosed one. NYSC camp is an enclosed one. So once the core members, they are there, nobody goes out of the camp again until the 3 weeks, the close of the camp. That is when they go. So that is why I think our safety measure is a model that others are also copying. And I'm sure our schools and others are also learning from what we have done. And I can assure you, with our strict implementation of these guidelines in camp, with our enforcement vanguard. And the best thing is that the luck we had is that our core members, we have doctors, we have lab technologies, and they're all properly trained by the NCDC staff on the implementation of the various protocols in camp. And that's why everything went smoothly. And as you can see, the joy from the host communities, because NYSC orientation is a gamut of activities. The community benefit because virtually all the allowance paid in camp ended up in the community where they buy and sell and so on. But to avoid any mixture, even those in the markets are also tested. And they were scaled down drastically. A market that can take about 200 in the past, not more than, the NCD said not more than 20 or thereabout. And you see, when you go, it's a bit scanty. And the core members are not permitted to go and sit in the market. If you want to buy it, just go and buy and leave. And they are monitored closely. We also, there are sanctions. If any of both camp officials and the core members, if they are not, if they refuse to fail to adhere to the protocol, they can be decamped immediately. And I also want to use the opportunity to also make an explanation to distinguish between who is a prospective core member and who is a core member. I think there's always a confusion in the terminologies. A prospective core member is a person that leaves the parents on his way to report to camp. And once you get to camp, you'll be tested until when you are negative before you are allowed in. And once you are allowed into the camp, you get sworn in. You are the core member. But the moment you come and you undergo test in the camp, and you are positive, you are taken, you are not yet a core member because you are not allowed in. So people should be able to know the distinction, because you just see Sometimes in the press, so number of corps members test positive, and so it's not true. If you say corps member test, then you show that those that are in the camp that is, which is not true. So all the people in the camp are negative. And to God be the glory, we never had any fatalities, as I said earlier. I think that is what we want the general public to understand. I want to use this opportunity to tell our camp members and also the camp officials that they must adhere strictly to the protocol. And if there's any cause for report on anybody, you'll be sanctioned and be decamped immediately. So I want to use this opportunity to thank the federal government, through the PTF, the NCDC, the national coordinator, the Minister of the Youth and Sports, who went on behalf of the NYSC to present our explanation also on our preparation and our measures. They also led to the approval. So we want to thank the ministry for their support, the National Governing Board, and so on. The core members are very, very important to socio-economic development. So you can see we have letters from various agencies waiting for core members to conclude their quota. Is it the health, the educational sector, and so on? They are waiting for core members so that with the opening of schools now, so that the core members will continue to put in their best. For the prospective core members, the NYSC is a platform that they can use and they attain success in life. Don't wait for white-collar jobs that are not readily available anywhere. Take advantage of skill acquisition training in camp. And then we thank to the federal government, through the Ministry of Youth and Sport, they have now established the 75 billion Youth Trust Fund. The minister is so keen on the participation of core members so that they can also benefit from there and set up their own businesses. We also thank the Mr. President, who recently launched the National Young Farmer Scheme. And core members have been told to leverage on that opportunity so that those of them that are interested in agribusiness can also get facilities from there. We also thank the CBN, the Bank of Industry, the NYSC Foundation, and other stakeholders that have always made themselves available for our core members with soft loans for them to do their business. We recently set up a monitoring unit that have gone to the field to see those core members that we trained on our skill to see how they are faring. And I'm happy to tell Nigerians that these core members are doing very well. And so they have now become a model for the other core members to learn from them. Apart from that, we even invite them to camp to teach the core members the skills they've acquired so that the ones in camp can also learn from it, because the camp is very, very important because a lot take place, leadership training, skill acquisition training, and so on. Most of them with all sort of either those that were certain social vices. Once they come to camp, with these things are nipped in the bud in the camp because of the discipline, the training they do undergo in the camp. So the camp members should please take advantage of this, and I also want to advise them to please be conscious of their security. They should not always travel at night. Before you travel, ensure you obtain permission for the right quarters. We have already partnered with the road safety, with the national transport unions, and so on, so that your core members can only supply only roadworthy vehicles, and they will normally give us vehicles that drivers that are also very good. So we want to appeal to them to please adhere to our safety protocols so that it should have a hitch-free service here.
Nigeria serves, Nigeria we serve.
The Director General, National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Shuaibu Ibrahim, heartily welcomes the 2020 Batch B Stream 2 Corps members to the NYSC orientation camps. It is imperative to note that all prospective Corps members, camp officials, and visitors to the camp must subject themselves to COVID-19 test. It is only those who tested negative to the virus that shall be allowed into the camps. The NYSC orientation camp is a regimented environment anchored on discipline. Accordingly, all COVID-19 safety protocols already put in place by the Corps under the guidance of Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) are strictly being enforced in the camps. Therefore, management expects full compliance with the rules and regulations, as well as the aforestated safety protocols guiding the operations of the NYSC orientation camps by the camp community. The Director General welcomes Corps members aboard the ship of nation building and wishes them a successful service year.